As For All Mankind begins to wind down ahead of the final season, Star City sets out to explore the other side of the space race with a focus on the Soviet Union in a stunning alternate historical sci-fi drama. Star City may be set in the same world as For All Mankind, but make no mistake, this is a dramatically different story, with compelling espionage elements that were only minorly explored in the original series. Rather than continue the story from a For All Mankind from the present, Star City goes back to the beginning, in the wake of the USSR landing a man on the moon, and winning the first leg of the space race, which prompts both the USA and the Soviets to push even further and reach the next milestone. However, where For All Mankind kept the gaze upwards, Star City covers much more of the story as it unfolds on the ground. The show also brings back two central characters from the original series, albeit recasting both with new actors, Sergei Nikolov, as played by Joseph Davies, and Irina Morozova, as played by Agnes O'Casey. From here, these characters begin to develop, and provide an origin for where they came from before they showed up in For All Mankind. Star City is a culmination of Apple TV's prestige TV content. Apple TV has been steadily establishing its library of original content, and for the first several years, it's been a little sparse. Today, the lineup is much more varied, and there are several incredible shows that come highly recommended, but it continues to have a much smaller offering than most of its competitors, and that is not a bad thing. As a result of the more selective nature of Apple TV's original projects, there are numerous projects that stand out from much of what else is currently on TV, and certainly on competing platforms. But in particular, Apple TV has excelled when it comes to sci-fi, as evidenced by shows like Foundation, Severance, and See, in addition to espionage drama, as seen in Slow Horses. Well, Star City appears to have benefited massively from this expertise, as it combines an alternate history sci-fi story with a tense espionage drama that digs deep into the tense political landscape of the Soviet Union as it seeks to maintain an advantage over the West. The series expertly combines sci-fi and spy drama elements to create a series that forces you to keep watching. It's thrilling thanks to the perfect pacing, it's tense with everyone having hidden motives and agendas, and it creates a sense of distrust among the entire cast, leading to fascinating relationships that have complex layers. Star City features a stellar cast courtesy of Apple TV. On that note, none of the series would have been nearly as captivating if it wasn't for the incredible cast who brought this story to life. Now, right from the start, there is a slight adjustment, as the creatives behind Star City appear to have made the very intentional and conscious choice to cast a group of British and Irish actors, who maintain their own accents, in the place of the citizens of the Soviet Union. However, while it continues to be occasionally jarring as these well-spoken Brits call one another by very Russian names, and the signage surrounding them is in Cyrillic, it does not take away from the story, thanks to the performances and pacing. Rhys Ifans, Agnes O'Casey, Solly MacLeod, and Anna Maxwell Martin in particular stand out for how effectively they capture their individual characters. That being said, the series broadly has strong performances from everyone involved, and it all adds up to delicate and intricate relationships that often have to be explored in private, and even then, it comes with a sense of holding back or keeping each other at a distance. Star City stands out despite being a spin-off Apple TV. I recognize that in introducing this review, I spent a fair amount of time referencing For All Mankind, but the reality is that this series stands out independently of the story that has been explored throughout that series. From the setting rewinding the narrative back to the 1970s, to the fact that the USSR is a very closed-off system that avoids connecting with outside countries and news reports. Star City is a fantastic depiction of a tense authoritarian police state, where citizens are closely observed, and everyone could be at risk of imprisonment if they step out of line or attract unwanted attention. However, Star City's focus on the space program ultimately makes this a much more complex issue, as some people desire recognition, and others who have it feel remorse and regret due to the results. Of course, there are small details that feel like nods to For All Mankind, and the story connects some dots regarding how things played out in the premiere season of that show, but predominantly, Star City is a show that deserves to be viewed and judged in its own right. Fortunately, it is a stunning series that stands out for numerous reasons. Star City delivers a convincing atmosphere of tension, while also infusing warmth and brightness from a handful of characters who are trying to work the best they can within the system that they have inherited. It's dark, it's thrilling, and it creates a fascinating duality between what the characters are experiencing and the deeper emotions and intentions that go into the decisions and choices that they make throughout the show. If you have yet to watch For All Mankind, there is no reason that you can't start with this series and move on to that show later. In fact, with only the first season of Star City currently airing, it could create an even stronger link with the show, providing additional context for the original. Either way, Star City is an incredible show that combines popular genres, digs deep into an alternate history, has a phenomenal cast, and keeps you guessing as the mysteries begin to unravel throughout the series.